Get this. India is gearing up to build a complete passenger jet for the first time in over 30 years. I mean, this is a huge ambition, something that could totally reshape its economy. But, and this is a big but, the partner they've picked could ground the whole thing before it even gets off the runway. So let's break it all down. Yeah, you heard that right. It's been more than 3 decades since a passenger plane was actually built in India. So, this deal isn't just some small step forward. It's a potential giant leap, really, from what felt like a forgotten dream straight into a high-tech future. And hey, don't just take my word for how significant this is. Listen to this, straight from Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. You'll see them called HAL. They're the company right at the center of all this. They're calling it, and I quote, "the first instance a complete passenger aircraft will be produced in India." So, what's the plane? And who are the big names involved here?
All right, let's get into Section 1. We'll start with the absolute basics. Who is building what?
Okay, so the deal itself is what's known as a Memorandum of Understanding, or an MOU for short. Think of it as the official handshake, the initial agreement. On one side, you've got India's HAL, and on the other, Russia's United Aircraft Corporation, or UAC. And the plan? To build the SJ-100 regional jet right there in India. And here it is, the SJ-100. Now, you might have heard of it before as the Sukhoi Superjet. It's really the workhorse of regional travel. We're talking a nimble, twin-engine jet, perfect for connecting smaller cities. It can carry around 100 passengers, which puts it right in the same ring, competing head-to-head with big names like Embraer and Airbus. This timeline really puts it all into perspective. Just look at this. The last time India was producing a passenger plane, the Avro HS-748, was all the way back in 1988. That gap you see there? That's more than 30 years. So this new agreement, it's not about picking up an old story. It's about starting a completely new chapter.
Okay, let's move on. Why is everyone calling this a game changer for India? What's the big deal? And why now?
Well, HAL says this jet is absolutely crucial for a big government program called the UDAN scheme. And the whole point of UDAN is pretty simple, actually. It's all about connecting India's smaller towns and really making it affordable for more people to fly. So a locally made regional jet, that's the perfect tool for the job.
And the potential market here is just enormous. We're not talking small numbers. Just to connect cities inside its own borders, India is looking at needing around 200 jets just like this one over the next 10 years. That's a lot of planes.
But wait, it gets bigger. Now, zoom out a bit to include nearby international tourist spots, and you can add another 350 jets to the list. So do the math. We're talking about a potential market of over 500 planes. For a made-in-India jet, that is a massive, massive opportunity. But this is about way more than just selling planes. It's about building an entire ecosystem from the ground up. A project this big could totally supercharge India's dream of becoming a global aerospace hub. Think about it. It creates jobs, it boosts all the smaller private companies that supply parts, and it basically gives HAL a lock on this huge domestic market. So the opportunity is crystal clear. The ambition is huge. But here's where the story takes a sharp turn. There's a major, major complication, and it all comes down to who India has chosen as its partner. That partner is Russia's United Aircraft Corporation, and doing a deal with them right now, well, that comes with some very serious strings attached. So UAC isn't just any company. It's a state-owned Russian aerospace and defense giant. And here's the critical piece of the puzzle. It got hit with major international sanctions back in June 2022, right after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And let me be clear, this isn't some minor slap on the wrist. The sanctions against UAC are coming from the United States, the European Union, the UK, Canada, Switzerland, Japan. We're basically talking about a coalition of the world's biggest economies. All right, so what does this wall of sanctions actually mean for the project on the ground in India? Well, it boils down to 2 massive, and I mean massive, hurdles. First, there's the geopolitical risk. This is all about something called secondary sanctions. Now, think of it like this. The US and its allies can punish not only the Russian company, UAC, but also anybody else who does business with them. So yeah, HAL itself could be in the crosshairs. Then there's the second hurdle, and this one is just practical.
How on earth do you build a modern cutting-edge jet when your main partner is completely cut off from buying essential Western components?
And this isn't a risk that's taken lightly. Historically, Indian companies have gone to great lengths to avoid getting tangled up in this stuff. Why? Because the penalties for violating US sanctions can be so incredibly severe that it's just not worth the risk.
But okay, let's say, for the sake of argument, they could somehow dodge that political bullet. They still face a huge engineering problem. The supply chain issues alone could create unbelievable complications for actually manufacturing this plane in India.
And we know this is a real problem, not just a what if. Reports are already coming out of Russia that their own efforts to build planes using only Russian parts are, well, they're grappling with some serious delays. That tells you just how immense the logistical challenge would be for a production line based in India.
So, this all brings us to the final section, and really the central conflict at the very heart of this deal. It's a classic case of ambition versus reality.
When you get right down to it, it really comes down to these two sides of the coin. On one side, you have the ambition, the dream, a soaring, made-in-India success story that changes everything. And on the other side, you have the cold, hard reality, a project that could be chained to the ground by messy geopolitics and a logistical nightmare. You see, this deal is so much more than just a business agreement. It's a statement about India's place in the world, about its future. So the ultimate question, the one we're left with, is this. Can India's high-flying ambition find a way to navigate these incredibly turbulent geopolitical skies? Or is this dream destined to stay on the ground?